So this will be a pretty straightforward, simple question to kind of get to. Robert just wants to learn how to set his stop loss to the swing points here, right? So you can see he's got the swings, highs, and lows indicator on here, right? Which is just a swing point indicator, and he wants to set his stop loss on the swing point indicator. And one thing to kind of note here, you notice how there's different plots, right? So there's a red hash line and then a magenta dotted line here. So if you're going to use, the swing highs and lows, you definitely, need to learn how to use the indicator, right? Because these are two different plot lines. So if you're setting your stop loss to an indicator plot, well, if that indicator has two different plots, but they kind of look like they're the same, well, you definitely need to research, what those two different indicator plots are, so you understand the indicator properly. All right. So the swing highs and lows indicator is in the shark indicators folder here. Right there we go. Swing highs and lows. And the next thing we want to do is set the indicator up. So if you're going to use the swing highs and lows for a stop loss, most likely you're going to want to use, let's see, I think number of swings, just set it to 2. And of course the swing strength, that's subjective, whatever works best with your chart and, your system there. Yeah, so we can see on the chart here, if I set my number of swings to 2 there, that it's marking all the swing highs and low points, and it's all being done with the same plot. So you can see it's only the hash lines here, and there's no dots. In fact, I turned the tightest tops off and the tightest bottoms off, right? I set them to transparent so we don't see them, and all we're looking at are the whitest tops and the whitest bottoms there. All right. Yeah. So if you're new to using the swing highs and lows indicator, then I would suggest what I'm going to show you here is, let's go to our web page here, our website, and I'm going to go to support and then go down to documentation. I'm going to open this up in another tab. All right, so this is the documentation page, right? The main products, but if you look here, it says other indicators. So you can click right here on swing highs and lows, and that'll take you to the swing highs and lows indicator page, right? And let's see here. There you go. So there's some documentation for that indicator, and I know it used to be in much better shape. I'm not sure what happened here, but I'll have to find out what happened. So and of course the video is up on top here. So all right, so if you're going to use a swing type indicator to set your stops, know that swing indicator, how it works. And so now let's go into actually setting up the stop loss to follow the swing highs and lows indicator here. So let's see, let's open up our strategy window, and we will get Blackbird loaded onto the chart, and remember to enable your strategy, right? And click OK. And I just want to remind everybody here, with Blackbird, I am no longer using the Ninja add-on toolbar that I used to have. It seems like with some recent, I think the most recent couple of updates to NinjaTrader, that toolbar add-on really interferes with Blackbird's menu system, right? It creates a tear in the chart there. So I'm now using this indicator. So this toolbar here actually comes with NinjaTrader, and it's an indicator here. So it's much better than the Ninja add-on toolbar that I used to run. So this is a little tip there. And also, please note that there's still this little void area, which is something that NinjaTrader injects onto the chart for their chart trader. So it's like NinjaTrader adds a little placeholder for their chart trader there. All right. And all right, let's open up the order settings window here. All right, so here's the Blackbird interface, and we're going to focus on a stop loss here. So I'll just do a market entry. And then as far as the stop loss goes, we actually have a quick setting right there. It says swing low, high, and this is be a fixed one. So in other words, the stop loss is not going to move, right? It's a fixed stop loss. But if you want a trailing stop loss that'll follow the swing points up, then we can go, into the trailing, and there's a swing low, high trailing version as well. So I will select that right there. And then if we open this up, right, if we look at the initial placement, if you notice, the number of swings is set to 2, just like how I did on the chart. And of course, if you need to adjust your swing size, or actually let's see, it's now called what I think the swing strength. Yeah, it's called swing strength now. But swing size, swing strength, same thing. The swing style, whether you want standard, GAN, ticks, or percent. And then, of course, actually, double top, double bottom strength doesn't do anything for swing points, or for stop losses, but, it is a part of the indicator setting, so that had to be left in there. And if we look at the plots here, let's see. Oh, this is actually using the tightest plots, which actually, yeah, we could use the tightest plots as well. Yeah, I have the widest plots set here. So I will switch my indicator, switch that over on the chart there, and we'll switch it over to using the tightest plots here. But of course, we could use either way, widest or tightest. So, and also I think, let me take a look at this screenshot here. And you wanted a 2-tick offset, right? So if we're in a long trade, you want 2 ticks lower than the swing low. So we'll go back in to the stop loss, and it's going to the initial placement. And we're going to go down here to the offset section and put in -2 ticks. So there you go. So for a long trade, right, 2 ticks below the swing point indicator. And then same thing, we need to go into the trailing here. And if we open this up a little bit, right, if we go into the action, you can see the action that says move to. So it's going to move the stop loss to the swing patterns there. And we're going to go into, open up the swing patterns again. And we'll add an offset here as well. All right. So, just a little side note here. There's 2 ways that you can access the swing highs, lows indicator. So one is we could use the indicator value mode and then go and, go into the indicator list, right? And we could select the swing highs and lows, in just the regular indicator list. if we want, right? And then adjust the number of swings like that. You know, and if I wanted to match my chart, let's see, for a long trade, I want to use the bottoms and the tops there. There, stretch that out a little bit. Right. So again, if you wanted, you know, if you prefer using this you know, menu system here of, you know, looking at all the indicators and seeing the indicator settings, you know, like this, right? Then your mode, you could set your mode to using the indicator value, but an alternate way to access the swing highs lows is the swing points prices, right? And this is basically just kind of a, you know, another way of looking at the swing highs and lows, you know, indicator properties, right? The indicator settings here. And then we have the plots. You know, you can select which plot you want from here. So, yeah. All right. So anyways, so again, my point, again, just a reminder, my point in going into the trailing actions tab over here is to make sure that I put that 2-tick offset into the trailing rule as well, right? So with that, we should be done. Pretty straightforward. You know, so again, just a quick look again. So what I did is I just went into the, you know, into the quick list here, and we have a fixed stop loss that'll just, you know, place it on, you know, whatever the most recent swing point is, or we can do a trailing one and pick the swing high low from the trailing option there. All right. So if we click that, and then also I said I was going to switch my indicator over to match the settings in Blackbird. All right, so let's go here and turn off the widest plots, and I will turn on the tightest plots here. All right, so now you can see they're dots. So by default, the tightest plots are the dots there. And it, you know, you can see that basically it all looks the same. So since we set the number of swings down to 2, they really are going to be the same. So yeah, one good thing to note here, yeah, I was trying to show you before the market moved down too far, but you know, one thing you got to be really mindful of is when you use an indicator to set your stop losses, you always got to make sure that your indicator is plotting in the correct location, right? So if we wanted to take, you know, a short trade here, well, you know, our swing indicator is plotting down here below the market. So obviously you can't, you know, set a stop loss down here if you're trying to take a short from way up here, right? So one thing, yeah, you always got to be mindful to make sure that your, you know, your indicator is going to be in the right spot. Let me get rid of that, right? You need to make sure your indicator is plotting in the right spot, you know, for the direction of the trade you want to take, right? So that's one of the kind of like the perils of using an indicator to set your stop losses. So, you know, if we took a short up here, you can't place a stop loss, you know, below the market if you're taking a short. Right. Okay, so with that, let's see. You know, so now, so the swing high is plotting up here now. So now we can actually take a short, right? And there we go. So there's the swing high with a 2-tick offset, and there is our stop loss. And if I close that, and then if I go long, there we go. So this is the most recent swing low, and we're 2 ticks below the swing low, right? And maybe if we're lucky, the market will reverse directions for us and create a higher low here. let's just see what happens. We'll give this maybe a second or so and see if that happens. Well, it's almost there. I think if we can print 2 bars, a swing low or a higher low will be made, and that stop loss will trail up. Yeah, today doesn't seem to be a good day for the markets, so probably should have taken a short trade today. Yeah, well, if I'm fast enough, I might be able to catch it. We got a pretty good retracement on the Russell today. Yeah, well, it's still the lunch hour in New York, so it looks like the market's just kind of taking a little break here until the guys come back from lunch. Oh, there we go. All right. There we go. Great. There we go. So now we saw that stop loss trail up to the new higher low. Cool. All right. So, yeah, that takes care of that question there. Let's see here. All right. Yeah. Joe's got a follow-up question here. So he's saying, regarding the swing indicator, can the stop be set to the second swing back for your stop? It can if you have a swing indicator that plots the second swing back, right? So, the way software works is it's always looking at the plot of the current bar, right? So if, let's see here. It's kind of hard to see because the text is in the way, right? But you can see there's a swing low right here. And so this would be, I'll use a little ellipse here. So this would be the second swing back, right? So, the way software works is it's always looking at the current bar. Let me grab another arrow. So, this is the most recent closed bar. So the software is always reading, the data from the most recent closed bar. And so your second swing back is way back here. So the software doesn't know how far back to look. And you can see as every bar prints, right, it goes further back and further back. So you need, a customized swing indicator that will take the second swing back and plot it forward onto the current bar, right? And then it's just a matter of going into the Blackbird settings and selecting the plot that represents the swing that's the second swing back. So sure, it can be done, but you just need a custom indicator that's going to take the second swing back and also plot that forward in time as well. So that way you have, the most recent swing low, and you have the second swing back swing low, but also just kind of printed forward, in time as well onto the current bar. So, again, just remember, if you're using a trailing stop loss, on the swing points, just remember that you need to, if you make any adjustments, if you make adjustments in the initial placement, right, such as adjusting the offset, just remember to go into the trailing actions and find the trailing rule that's also using the same indicator, right, and open up the indicator settings and also add that offset into your trailing rules, right? Because otherwise, when your stop loss trails, it won't have that offset if you forget to put that in here. So, all right. Okay, cool. So that was that question.